You got questions?
We got answers. We are the cast and crew of Sea Sondering. And today we bring you a Q&A.
Brought to you by your questions.
We also have some very, very, very exciting news that we've been wanting to share with you for a long time.
The anticipation is killing you. I know, it's killing me too. Hi, my name is Jocelyn. In 2019, I bought a 38-foot sailboat and filled it with my best friends. We named her the Belafonte, and together we're sailing the world, proving that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. This is Sea Sondering. So one of the biggest questions is, where are you sailing to? Like, what are you doing on this trip? And, Ellie?
For a long time, we've had a pipe dream of racing in Antigua Race Week. There's only usually one other all-female team, and so we would love to bring some more female representation. Also, just we're a bunch of kooks and we don't really know what we're doing, so.
I'm gonna teach these girls how to race a sailboat.
Me and Joss used to tell people when we were a bit drunk that that's what we were gonna do, and I don't think either of us really believed that we would actually make it here.
It was in the Bahamas. We're like, yeah, we're going to Antigua to race Antigua Race Week, and that's what we tell everyone. So this is our big practice for Antigua Race Week. We're going to race Nick. Just Daniel Key. It's about a 10 nautical mile race. He's probably going to win. He has brand new sails.
I don't think anyone we told believed that we were actually coming here either.
And now we are filming this from Antigua.
We made it! Very excitingly, our producer, the great Patrick Shannon, is coming down to help us film a documentary about our race.
Now let's get into these juicy questions.
Okay, Sarah, start.
How has COVID changed your trip? Well, if you haven't watched the first season of Sea Sondering, this was all supposed to take place 2 years ago. Maybe not the racing part, but we were definitely trying to sail through the Caribbean and around the world 2 years ago. And then COVID hit and it kind of shut us down, and Joss and I ended up sailing back from Turks and Caicos after spending a month there. Right now, it makes it choosy of which islands we go to, because the harder it is to get in, the harder it is to get a COVID test, the more expensive it is to get a COVID test. We tend not to choose those islands, and we just like pick the ones that are a little easier for traveling folks. It's worked out well so far. Caribbean's a good place.
How do you get along?
Who wants to start?
We don't all always get along, obviously.
There's conflict sometimes.
We live in probably the smallest apartment you can think of. Like, think of those crazy ones in Japan where everything is on top of each other, and 4 of us live in that space, and we all do the exact same thing every day, and we all work together, eat together, sleep together.
Not a lot of apart time.
Yeah, leave it at that. But I would...
Conflict!
Sorry. I would like to say, though, if there is a conflict, it doesn't last for very long. Like, we have to deal with it and move on really quickly, because this is how we live.
Yeah.
So there's no, like, long-lasting drama or tiffs or, like, grudges that are held on the boat.
You don't take anything personal. It's all business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah. It's just like, deal with it in the moment and move on. So.
And don't let anyone get hungry.
Most of the fights start.
That's a big one.
Most of the fights start when someone is hungry. So
try to avoid that.
Question for Laura, though. As Laura didn't know anyone coming onto the boat, I'm wondering how you, like, your initial thoughts of, like, coming onto a boat, didn't know anyone, and how do you think we were all going to get along, or, like, what your 2 cents of this question is.
Right, because I had watched Sarah and Jocelyn in season 1, and when I heard that Sarah was going to be here when I was there, I was very excited, because I thought Sarah just seemed like the coolest person. Don't worry, I know better now.
Yeah. It's all a farce.
And then, but honestly, they're exactly like how they are in the videos.
Aww. And how is that?
Yeah, how is that? Very real. So.
Also, no one let us forget to turn back on the fridge that we turned off to film this.
Behind the scenes, we have to turn off all of our major appliances to film these, otherwise they make noise in the background. Where to next season?
Ooh.
I want to know.
We are going to Trinidad and Tobago's.
So now we have arranged for a haul out in Trinidad and Tobago, specifically Tobago, at a marina where the boat will sit for hurricane season. And then after that, hopefully, we will cross the Panama Canal and go to Galapagos. If that doesn't happen or is unable to happen, there's always returning to the Caribbean and doing that. Good news for Jocelyn is the wind will be on her side if she does choose to sail back to Florida. But definitely pushing for Galapagos.
All we gotta do is just replace a few more
rigging lines.
The boat is almost not safe enough to go to the Galapagos, so
We'll fix that.
yeah.
Yeah.
How do you exercise on the boat? Oh, okay. Well, sometimes we just snorkel a lot and there's a lot of swimming involved. Whenever we get to land, sometimes we go for yogs or we do these like HIIT workouts on land. Honestly, it goes through waves. Like sometimes we have the ability to get to shore and we get like this burst of energy. We're like, we're going to get fit now. And then sometimes we sit on a boat without moving for 4 days straight and our muscles atrophy. And we were in the pool today. None of us could swim. Oh my gosh, I'm drowning.
You become very dense. Also, just living on the boat is kind of a workout. You're constantly engaging your whole body to do anything. So cooking, using the bathroom, sitting. Like, the boat is shaking. So you're, like, not just, like, I mean, we're not wet noodles here, so.
Yeah, if you're below deck while it's moving, you're automatically in a lunge position.
What's the deal with the boat name?
Great question.
El Capitano?
Okay, well, for over a decade, my favorite movie has been Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. It's a Wes Anderson film. And it's essentially like a mockumentary about Jacques Cousteau. It's about these oceanographers who are going to get revenge on a jaguar shark for eating their friend. And the boat in the movie is called the Belafonte. It meant a lot to me and some of my close friends, and it was sort of like a tribute to that.
It's a prerequisite to get on the boat.
To watch the movie.
watch it.
Yeah, that and Captain Ron, so.
Yeah, and I remember watching it with my mom the night before I flew down to Florida to meet Jocelyn on the boat, and she was like, I don't know what type of trip you're gonna have, but it's gonna be very interesting.
Shout out to Wes Anderson if you're watching this. I love you. You're great. Please call us.
Okay, next question. What is your monthly budget?
I mean,
We like to stay close to zero.
Ideally zero.
ideally zero.
It's not a lucrative venture to live on a boat, let me
No.
tell you that, folks.
We try very hard to, like, everybody's budget is different, obviously, coming on the boat. Laura is still getting paid. So it varies.
We do a good job of, like, we're very, very tight with our money, I would say. We try and anchor whenever possible. We rarely go into marinas.
Yeah.
And the vegetables we buy are the cheapest vegetables at the store. Or they're like from the farmer's van.
We do, like, we also all split everything. So, like, the gas and the food and stuff like that, we all split 4 ways. And Joss does a really good job of, like, the accounting on the boat and, like, divvies everything up fairly. And we split, like, check-in fees to the countries we go to and stuff like that, which also helps keep it cheaper, which is nice.
Could we ballpark it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
How much have we been, like...
I could say for myself, because I just was looking at this actually, all in, for every single expense, like every single dollar that leaves my bank account, I would say it's about $1,600 a month.
Do you have partners back home? Well, some of us do, some of us don't. I personally only date men that are named after boat parts, so I have a theme that I stick to.
A true sailor.
I really incorporate sailing into every aspect of my life.
How do you cook on the boat?
Woo!
Oh, well,
Pan the
Great
kitchen.
question.
we have a oven and a stove and a small refrigerator.
We also alternate every day who cooks and does all the dishes. So for one day, you're called mom, and you do all the cooking and all the cleaning in the kitchen. and then for the next 3 days you get to sit around and do nothing. So
Yeah.
it's
But
like a trade-off.
honestly, I don't think the videos show how capable this kitchen is. Like,
Yeah.
it's stove, oven, like
yeah.
We make
you
waffles.
Can really do anything that you would cook at home on the
Yeah.
boat.
We make a lot of curries.
Yum.
We love making a pan of brownie.
Oh,
Splitting it
so
four ways.
good.
It's the same as normal brownies. It's not brownies. We don't cut it up. We just eat it out of the pan
We each get a quadrant.
in a spoon. Pan of brownie. How would an English girl who has never been a part of a boat crew before fare on the Belafonte? Well, I think we can all help answer this question. I think if you're adventurous, you don't mind your bed moving 24/7, and you're okay with peeing in a bucket, you could fare in the Belafonte.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's all less about skill, all about attitude.
Yes.
Totally.
100%.
Yeah, we actually like when you don't know how to sail before you come on
Yeah.
the boat because you have no expectation.
We can corrupt you.
Perhaps you were on a yacht before that had a shower, and now you're on the Belafonte, and I'm like, oh, oops,
Don't
here's
have
your
a
dingy
toilet.
jug. Now you don't have a toilet. Okay, next now you're on the toilet. Eh? Laura?
Yeah, you just have to be able to brush things off. Like, if you get seasick, move on. Have a bad day, just move on. It's not going to be like that forever. Like, you'll get a if you have a low, you're going to get a high eventually.
Yeah.
Just so
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a high level of discomfort
Yeah.
to be on the Belafonte.
Yeah. But if you get through it, miracles
Yeah.
will happen.
If
Yeah,
you like
promise.
being around people and adventuring and having no plan or expectations that you're going to meet, the Belafonte is the place for you.
Yeah. And it will constantly exceed your expectations, both
Yeah.
high and low.
Yes.
How do you share responsibilities? I would say very equally.
Yeah.
Like Sarah said, we all share the cooking and cleaning. We all share the sailing. We all do even shifts of sailing. We all do the boat work. We all do the mechanics.
And all the food is divvied up very evenly as well.
Or like your jar of cookie with your
Like
name on it.
everyone,
we all
yeah.
do the eating
It's,
equally?
well, like when it gets put in a bowl, it's all very even in the bowls. Like it's very even here. We're very even. It's a good thing. I like fairness.
Everyone learns how to sail, despite my terrible efforts of teaching people how to sail. And I'm just too busy, you know? I'm a good sailing instructor when that's my job. Anyways, everyone learns how to sail really greatly. I'm proud of all y'all. And everyone night sails and pulls the strings on the boat and puts up the flags. We're all there together.
Sarah's sailboat terminology.
Why are you here? You can ask,
God put me here.
you can ask my mother
Only I
that.
knew.
I feel like there's a lot of people in our lives that ask that question.
What are you doing?
Happens quite
When
frequently.
will you get a normal life?
First I was running away from my problems, and now I'm just having so much fun that I'm still here. Next.
I think I'm here to honestly like learn more about myself. Every time you come on the boat, you learn a whole lot about yourself, good and bad. And I love it. So, and I mean, you can't turn down a 3-month vacation.
Vacation.
Loose word. Loose word.
Don't say the B word again.
Laura?
Why are you here, Laura?
Yeah, who are you?
Who's she?
Who is that?
I'm here because I felt like it. No, I don't know. It just seemed like my mom told me about the channel, and she was like what these girls are doing, it's so cool, and I think you should do it. And I was thinking about going on some sort of vacation, and she's like, how about not going on vacation, but trying
Doing
this
this.
instead?
Sending you to sailing camp, sailing torture camp.
To sailing camp. Yeah, but I have no regrets. It's been great.
I think for myself, my initial goal was that I knew I would get a lot of boat work.
Experience?
As a naive young girl, I was really excited to get some boat work experience.
The
and now,
Belafonte had that.
after 6
God.
months, I can say I've not quite satiated that goal, but
Enough for now.
yeah, exactly. And I think I just fell in love with living on a boat. It's just an incredible life. I think we're so lucky to live it.
Yeah.
We sure are.
I think
Yeah.
that's why we're all here.
Yeah.
It just, at the end of
It's
the
a
day,
blessing.
it's so rewarding.
It is.
And being able to see parts of the world that you only get to see by sailboat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Such a different way of
Oh,
traveling.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I think for me, a huge part about it is the people we meet too. We meet
Yeah.
such
Yeah.
Huge.
amazing, beautiful, interesting people that
Yeah.
are like just become some of our instant friends, and you're with them for a few days, and then unfortunately you have to leave them. But then there's somebody else you're meeting, and it's just such an amazing way to travel the world.
Always opportunities to like run into them again. Like if you're sailing past each other another time, like it's just it's a large but small community, I guess. Like it's really cool. Do you get seasick? Yes.
Yes. Laura
These suckers don't.
I did.
Solid.
Like the first sail, I got it out of my system. Although I'm still not convinced that was seasickness. It could have just been getting like blasted with diesel fumes in the face.
Yeah.
There. But yeah, after that, I've had no problems, which I'm really thankful for because I've seen the other side.
Ellie's been pretty good this whole time, I think.
Yeah. Sometimes I get a bit drowsy, but other than that.
I feel like we're gonna set the echelon of seasickness at like where Jocelyn gets to.
Yeah.
We take this like anti-seasickness pill called Sturgeon that we call Sturgis, and it works pretty well. So Sarah and I take that, and then we don't get seasick.
Can't go down below really a lot, but at least you're not like dead in the cockpit.
Yeah, like normally we're fine if we sit at the back of the boat and steer. Like we normally don't get seasick. As soon as you go down below or start doing other things, have your head down, that's when you're gonna get more sick.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we love Sturgis.
Wake up in the morning, Sturgis. Waves a bit rolly, Sturgis. You're having your midday snack, Sturgis. Feeling a bit sleepy, it's the Sturgis. Have a nap, Sturgis. Wake up, Sturgis. In your sleep, have a Sturgis. Going to bed, Sturgis. Don't forget about your dinner time, Sturgis. Not seasick, Sturgis. Give a little Sturgis to your doll. Eat the Sturgis is all.
How would you rate your boat as a Caribbean cruiser?
I think it's great for cruising the. I think this boat is great for cruising like Bahamas, cruising the Caribbean. I think it was a bit of a push to get it to the Caribbean from the Bahamas. So, I mean, but a C&C is a great boat. I think it's a beautiful layout and
like lifestyle wise, it's wonderful. Yeah, like having all four of us on here, like it's laid out really nice. It's really well that way. And I mean, for the short cruises, like through the Bahamas and through like around the smaller islands and stuff like that, it's great. No issues at all.
Like, CNCs are a great line of boats.
Yeah.
And they're Canadian.
Canadian. I mean, you have to remember, this boat is 40 years old. Like, they clearly have created...
Older than all of us combined.
Clearly upgraded how to design a boat and, like, put things in a boat in the last 40 years. But, I mean, if we're talking 1982, this would be the boat I would choose.
Also, all of us combined.
I know, I realized it as soon as I started.
What did you say?
Nothing.
What are the hardest things about living on the boat? Very good question. I think for me, at first, the hardest part was maybe a lack of alone time.
There's none of it.
I feel like I definitely, I'm like a energy sponge a bit, and I just now know to sometimes go face first into my bed with earplugs in if needed.
The best part is that we get to be together. The best part is like living in a tiny dorm room with all your college best friends. I mean, the hardest part for me is I feel like there's never a moment where I'm not like either worried about something. It's like so rare that it's not like I have a million things to fix, or we're sailing, I have to make sure that, you know, Laura doesn't die on the boat, or like anyone, or like just
Laura specifically.
I'm glad you worry about that.
I said Laura because she's the newest to the boat. I mean, like the first day you're on the boat, like I'm worried about everyone, but
Learn Sarah.
You know, we anchor, and then it's like, is the anchor gonna drag? Are we gonna drift into the rocks? Or like, is the motor gonna die halfway here and there? And there's a lot of responsibility. I think.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's not being able to like stretch out your whole body straight.
Yeah. I think the hardest part is definitely like the physical deformities that I think would come from being on a boat long term. Like I think I would have a hunchback, and like my legs would not be able to extend straight. Like I would become like a weird
Not all
creature. Not all boats. Not all
Just
boats.
our boat.
Just our boat. And then also just realizing that people live differently than you. People have different triggers and different things that irritate them, and so navigating that, like kind of how I said, like learning a lot about yourself, like you really pick and choose what you're gonna let bother you, and like it can be hard that way sometimes. Like I have a lot of really odd specific triggers sometimes, and just like realizing like perspective, that everybody's coming from a super different place, it helps. But that's hard.
Hardest thing for you so far?
Yeah, Laura,
Yeah.
close us out.
Well, I agree with you too. Like, I do not have a boat body. I'm almost 5'11". And he's 5'11" on a boat. I'm going to have a permanent lump on my forehead. Just going through the
Again,
boat.
not all boats. Our boat.
I think not having access to fresh produce all the time.
That's a good
Like
one.
some
That's
days
hard.
you just
That's
want a
hard.
salad.
Yeah.
You just want vegetables.
Yeah.
I think that's been really eye-opening, is seeing how much food insecurity there is. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
for us, we can go home and there's fresh produce available. But for example, when we were in the Bahamas on some of those little islands, like it's never available for them.
How do you afford this?
Good question.
Well, back home I'm a nurse. I do travel nursing, and so when we're not sailing, I am working.
Saving dollar bills.
Saving dollar bills.
I am also a nurse and kind of do the same thing. I did travel nurse for a while, and then now I have a permanent job, but I'm like casual, so I can kind of pick and choose my work. So work a bunch when I'm at home, and then make time and room for this.
Yeah, I always budget for travel, and then with the last 2 years not being able to travel, I'm just going through that. So,
Laura's still getting paid.
Yeah, Laura's still getting paid.
I think I would say I am the least financially stable I've ever
You
known
just
on the boat.
graduated university.
Yeah,
She's
I
a
just graduated
baby.
university. I did work full time before I came on the boat, and just saved all my pennies. A very small amount of money comes in through the Patreon, which we're just
Goes straight to
the-
boat work stuff.
It goes
Exactly.
straight into the repairs. But it's so nice, and it's just nice to have it come from like real people and
People who care about us.
Yeah, people who send
And
us
wanna see us
messages
succeed.
And
Could you ever feel comfortable without a motor on a passage? I think I could, because there are lots of people before us that did it, so why can't we? It's my perspective.
I don't think it's the passage. It's just
probably
like
naive.
going into a tiny anchorage
Yeah.
or like a marina without
Where
a
it gets
motor.
kind of...
yeah.
Especially because like even with our motor, we're almost hitting boats. So next,
How many things have you dropped overboard?
Oh gosh.
Laura, how many things have you dropped overboard?
Nothing, and one time swimming around the boat, I found a clothesline that Jocelyn dropped. So I recovered it. I'm +1.
I have dropped almost every single thing off the boat that I have held over the boat.
you've lost the shirt, you lost your bathing suit, but we recovered it.
I lost tweezers, I lost a screwdriver, I lost a
yeah, I remember
clothespin, I lost
Oh, yeah,
the
bolt.
bolts all the time. Bolts, like
You started tucking them
everything.
in her panties
Yeah,
now
like
so they don't fall out.
everything. I don't know, fumble fingers, I guess. So,
The only thing I
things have
lost
you
was
dropped?
the boat hook when we were trying to retrieve the paddleboard.
boat
I had a
hook.
couple pins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Ellie, what have you dropped overboard?
I've dropped. I just lost my hat last week.
Oh, yeah?
And we had to go do a couple figure eights to return that.
Yeah.
Gosh, I haven't dropped quite as many things as you have, but I'm sure there's more than just my hat. I've lost a bathing suit as well. My favorite one. Very sad.
Yeah.
The beach stole that
Yeah,
from you.
the beach.
It wasn't to drop
That's
an
true.
overboard.
That's true.
You are all so beautiful.
Oh, thank
Do you like men?
Like as pets or as food?
Some of them are good, some of them are great, some of them are for others. Left side snorkel or right side snorkel?
Definitely left.
Left side.
Left.
I'm left, but that's because my snorkel was made that way. I think I totally prefer it on the right.
We can change it.
No, you
even
can't.
know
It's
that
got a
was an
mouthpiece
option.
in it.
Oh, so then they just go left.
Yeah.
They only turn left. Was there ever a time that you got scared on the boat?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
I don't think so. Not yet.
Sailing into land, coming into the BVIs in the middle of the night. Yes, I was scared. With the broken engine. I was scared. When have you been scared, guys?
Sailing to Turks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember writing in my journal, I'm so sorry, Mom, I never told you this.
Oh gosh.
But I remember writing in my journal, like, I don't think I'm gonna die, but it's on my mind.
Oh my god.
Okay, the waves were cute. Okay, it was at the point you mentioned this before.
Yeah.
where we were all in our life jackets, clipped into the cockpit, lying on the bottom of the cockpit, and just like not talking about it.
None of us had discussed that we were gonna clip ourselves to the boat. You're looking up at the waves, and one of the very important wires that holds your mast up is broken, and the other one potentially on the fritz. You're thinking about what it would be like to drift through the ocean in 12-foot waves without a mast.
And when your captain pulls out the bolt cutter,
Yeah.
and gives you a quick lesson on how to cut the mast off in the middle of the night.
You're thinking about the logistics of that and the jib in the water, pulling the boat underneath the water if the forestay breaks and the mast is breaking.
So this is the final question. Is there any kind of privacy or private space on a small boat? Ellie kind of touched on this. No.
No.
Short answer, no.
Even when you're going to the bathroom, it's not completely private.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want private time, set an alarm 5 a.m. and
Yeah,
just,
your
like,
private time's
go
early
up
in the
on boat.
morning.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh. I wake up before everyone else is awake and get like 1 hour of private time.
One of the questions from last week's episode was, when you were bypassing the fuel filter, like, did you not think that maybe you're going to harm your engine more than if you had just like stopped and redid your COVID test, like what's worth more sort of situation? And I don't think we did a great job of explaining like the whole picture. There's just not enough time in a video. But we made that bypass essentially as a emergency because we still sailed the rest of the way, but then we had the engine and we turned it on only for 2 minutes just to grab the mooring ball, and then we turned it off. We actually had to take the fuel filter off and take it into a shop, and they put it into a clamp and a vise to get that fuel filter off, and it had just been way over tightened. We do know how to change a fuel filter. We are pretty savvy with the engine. It was just a matter of it being on too tight. Then we changed the fuel filter out and reconnected all perfectly, so the engine's running how it should be now.
Yeah.
The bypass was just so that we could use the engine in emergency, and it worked. It did. We turned it on for about 2 minutes. We even dropped the sail like as we saw the mooring ball.
Yeah, we almost like sailed onto the mooring ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Almost.
we
like
used it
was.
just so that we didn't drift into another boat.
Yeah.
And then had it back and running normal.
And were you saying that there's also a fuel filter in the engine separate from that one?
There's also a little fuel filter built into our engine that's like the secondary one. So that was like kind of our backup for running the engine for a few minutes, which we did. So it's fine. And also, yeah, we could have stopped and anchored, but then we had to go find another shop to like get this thing off.
What kind of YouTube video would that have made?
I mean, it was my birthday.
Here for the
we
people.
could have got another COVID test, but we could not have had another birthday. So, it's a matter of fact.
So that's all the questions I think we have.
If you guys have any more questions, let us know.
We do try to answer like any comments and stuff down below.
Leave it in the
So
comments.
if you have any questions or comments or anything, like definitely do that, and we try to engage as much as we can with you guys when we Wi-Fi permits.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.